everyone, welcome back in another video. Today date is 21st of November 2022 and in today's video we are going to see Hibernate. So Hibernate is a one kind of framework which is free of source, which is free source. We are going to discuss about free source and open source. So now we are going to see Hibernate. Before going to directly on Hibernate, we see why they need to introduce the Hibernate. Whenever we are going to write any program or code in our Java, that time, as we know, Java is an object-oriented language. That means all our data or all over the structure of code is present in the form of object, and we have to store that object or make any performing any operation like create operations on that objects. We have to store all those data in any kind of a database. Let's suppose we're taking an example for MySQL database. So in MySQL database, there was a method to there was a structure to store the data in database in the form of row and columns. So when we are going to store the data from our Spring Boot, in which we are going to write code, that code in the form of object, and we have to store that data into our database by using a database connectivity. So that time we are using a different kind of interfaces. That means we have to convert that object into the row and column format. That means one object containing one row. Object, suppose there was a data of student, so that data should be like that, student roll number, student name and student marks. So that is the one object, and we have to convert that object in the form of row and column. So that one object is converted into the one row in MySQL in database. So that's why we have to write some logic for converting data from object to the row column format when we are going to store the data. And when we have to retrieve the data or fetch the data from database, that time data is already present in row column format, and then we have to show that data on our UI. That time we have to convert the data into the object. So this is the lengthy process, or before we have to write the logic for all those things, and accordingly logic should be changed. That's why for the creating simplicity in our program, they introduced the Hibernate. So Hibernate, containing its own library and implemented method in it, the implemented method which are connecting with our Spring by using the interfaces. We are going to implement the interface. Suppose there is a JPA repository. So like that, there are the different interfaces. We are making connection between that interface. Suppose there is an interface for our Hibernate and then another interface from our Spring. We are going to implement all those interfaces, and we get the data from Spring in the form of object, and Hibernate can convert that data and in that format which that database is required. So between that, the logic which we have to return for the converting the data, that's we no need to write that logic. It's simply done by the Hibernate. So in market there was a different types of frameworks are present, like working like the Hibernate, like what is the Hibernate, then Hibernate is there. So these are alternate for each other. We can use any for the same purpose. So this is the all over about the Hibernate. Thank you.